The space around him burned red like fire. Commander Ryan Cole could barely see through the thick haze of plasma storms. His ship, the Horizon 9, shook violently as alarms screamed from every direction. System failure, oxygen level critical. The computer repeated in a cold mechanical voice. Ryan gripped the controls tighter. "Not now," he whispered. "Come on, girl, hold together." He had been chased for 3 days straight, hunted by alien interceptors through dead sectors and abandoned space lanes. But now he was trapped inside the Red Nebula, a forbidden zone known to destroy every ship that entered. No one ever came out alive. Lightning-like energy bolts flashed outside his window, bright enough to blind. His radar was gone. Shields were half dead. Fuel, almost empty. Still, Ryan fought to keep control. He wasn't ready to die here. Suddenly, through the static noise, a faint beep broke through. A distress signal. Weak, fading. But human-like, Ryan froze. A signal here? He tuned his communicator. The voice that came through was soft, almost a whisper. "Help. Please, anyone?" It wasn't human. The accent was melodic, strange, like a song carried by the stars. Ryan checked the coordinates. The signal was coming from less than 100 kilometers away. Against all logic, he turned his ship toward it. The deeper he flew, the stranger the nebula became. Clouds twisted like living creatures. Energy arcs crawled along his ship's wings. Every sensor flickered in protest. Finally, he saw it. A broken silver pod drifting in space. Its surface was carved with alien symbols glowing faint blue. Ryan's heart pounded. This can't be real. He activated the magnetic clamp and pulled the pod into his ship's hangar. As the door sealed, the emergency lights flickered on, painting the scene in red and shadow. Inside the pod lay a young alien woman. Her skin shimmered faint gold, her silver hair floating softly in zero gravity. She looked peaceful, almost angelic, except for the deep wound across her shoulder. Ryan slowly approached, his blaster ready. "Who are you?" Her eyes opened, bright violet glowing faintly. For a second he saw fear, confusion, then relief. You are human," she whispered weakly. "Don't leave me here." Ryan hesitated. The alien princess, though he didn't know it yet, looked fragile, almost dying. She wasn't a soldier. She was scared. He sighed, lowering his weapon. "You're lucky I'm not one of your people," he said, kneeling beside her. "Hold on, I'll get you out of this." He carried her to the med bay and started emergency treatment. His training kicked in, disinfecting, sealing, oxygen check, pulse stabilizer. Her breathing softened. "Thank you," she murmured before falling unconscious again. Ryan sat back, wiping sweat from his forehead. "What the hell am I doing?" he muttered. Helping an alien was treason. If Earth Command found out, he'd lose everything, but something inside him wouldn't let her die. Minutes later, his radar blared. Multiple red blips appeared, enemy drones. They had found him. Ryan ran to the cockpit and cursed. Of course. He powered up his ship's engines, which coughed like dying beasts. The drones moved fast, black insect-like ships glowing with red plasma trails. A message flashed across his screen. "Surrender the Royal Escape Pod. You are in violation of galactic territory." Ryan stared at the unconscious alien girl on the monitor. "Royal Escape Pod?" Was she a princess? He didn't have time to think. "Computer," he said, voice steady. "Arm all weapons. Prepare for evasive maneuvers." The ship's AI answered calmly. "Weapons online. Shields at 20%, that's good enough." The first drone fired. A plasma bolt slashed past, shaking the hull. Another followed. The Horizon 9 spun hard left, engines screaming. Ryan fired back, taking one down. But 3 more replaced it instantly. He was outnumbered, outgunned, and half-blind. Still, he grinned through the chaos. "You want her? Come and take her." He dove through the nebula clouds, using gravity currents to slingshot past enemy fire. Sparks filled the cockpit. A bolt hit his right engine. Alarms exploded again. Oxygen level dropping. Hull breach detected. Ryan ignored it. He had one chance, a storm vortex up ahead. If he timed it right, it could catapult him far from the nebula. If not, he'd be torn apart. He looked once more at the medbay screen, at the strange alien girl he'd saved. Then he pushed the throttle to maximum. "Hold on, whoever you are. We're getting out of here." The vortex swallowed them both in a blinding red light. The ship vanished into the storm. The ship drifted through endless silence. The storm behind them had vanished, leaving only a trail of sparks and broken metal. Commander Ryan Cole sat motionless in the pilot's seat, chest rising and falling with exhaustion. The Horizon 9 was barely holding together. One engine gone, communication offline, and only emergency power left. But he had survived, and so had she. Ryan glanced at the medbay monitor. The alien girl, still unconscious, lay under a soft blue light. Her golden skin shimmered faintly, her breathing slow but steady. The med system kept whispering, "Healing process in progress." Ryan leaned back and sighed. "What have I gotten myself into?" he muttered. He knew he shouldn't have rescued her. The Galactic Empire and Earth were enemies. Helping her was an act of treason. If Earth Command found out, he'd be court-martialed. But when he looked at her, he couldn't regret it. Something about her felt different. Not like the cold, ruthless aliens he'd fought before. There was innocence in her face. Suddenly, the lights flickered. The ship's AI spoke in a dull mechanical tone. "Power core unstable. Recommend immediate landing." Ryan's eyes darted to the nearest planet on the scanner. It was small and gray with no known colonies, just empty rock. Perfect for hiding. He guided the ship into orbit, flames lighting the darkness as they broke through the thin atmosphere. The Horizon 9 hit the surface hard, metal screeching against rock, before finally sliding to a stop. Silence again. Ryan unbuckled and headed straight to the medbay. The girl was awake. She sat up slowly, confusion and fear in her glowing violet eyes. When she saw him, she gasped and pressed back against the wall. "Human," she whispered. Ryan raised his hands. "Easy, you're safe now. You were in an escape pod. I found you in the Red Nebula." Her breathing quickened. "The Red Nebula? That means—" She looked down at the healing mark on her shoulder, then at him. "You saved me?" He nodded. "Yeah, I guess I did." She stared at him for a long moment as if trying to understand why. "Do you know who I am?" Ryan shook his head. "No idea. I just know those drones wanted you bad enough to kill me for it." Her lips trembled. "I am Princess Lyra of the Galactic Empire." "My mother is the Queen." Ryan froze. His stomach turned cold. "You're the Queen's daughter?" Lyra looked away. "Not anymore. I was being hunted. By my own people." Her voice cracked as she spoke. She explained how she had discovered a secret. That her mother, the Galactic Queen, had created a weapon that could control entire star systems. Lyra tried to destroy it, but the Queen branded her a traitor. The royal fleet chased her through hyperspace until her escape pod was shot down. Ryan listened silently. The air felt heavy. "So saving you just made me the galaxy's most wanted man." Lyra looked at him, guilt in her eyes. "I am sorry. You should not have helped me." He gave a tired smile. "Too late now?" For a while, neither spoke. The wind outside howled softly against the broken hull. Then the ship's alarm broke the silence. "Incoming transmission detected." Ryan ran to the cockpit. The main screen flickered, then a tall holographic figure appeared. Elegant, cold, and terrifying. A crown of stars floated above her head. Her voice was smooth, calm, and full of power. "Human pilot," she said. "You have something that belongs to me." Lyra's eyes widened. "Mother," she whispered in fear. Ryan stood firm, crossing his arms. "Your men attacked me first. I didn't plan to kidnap your daughter." The Queen smiled faintly. "Return her and you may live." Ryan glanced at Lyra, her eyes begging him not to believe her. "Don't trust her," Lyra whispered. "She wants me dead, not rescued." The Queen's hologram leaned closer, her golden eyes glowing. "You misunderstand, Commander. Your bravery impressed me, a human who defied my army. Such courage deserves reward," Ryan frowned. Her voice was too smooth, too practiced. "What kind of reward?" "A place at my side," she said softly. "Bring her to me and I will make you a hero across the stars." Ryan felt his pulse rise. There was danger in her tone, sweet words hiding poison. He didn't answer. The Queen's image flickered one last time. "Think carefully, human. No one refuses the Galactic Queen." The hologram vanished. Ryan turned to Lyra. She looked pale, terrified. "She's coming," Lyra whispered. "She'll destroy this planet to find me." Ryan stared at the horizon, his jaw tightening. "Then we better not be here when she arrives." He grabbed his jacket, walked to the control deck, and started the engines again. The Horizon 9 roared weakly, ready for one more run. Lyra followed, eyes shining with both fear and hope. "You're risking your life for me, why?" Ryan smiled faintly without looking back. "Because someone has to do the right thing, even in a broken galaxy." The engines fired, and the ship rose into the stormy gray sky, carrying a human soldier and a fallen princess toward their next impossible fight. Dark space stretched endlessly before them, cold and silent. The Horizon 9 floated between shattered asteroids, its engines flickering weakly like dying stars. Inside the cockpit, Commander Ryan Cole stared at the empty void, his mind heavy with questions. He had saved an alien princess. Now the most powerful woman in the galaxy, Queen Seraphis, wanted him dead or enslaved. Beside him sat Princess Lyra, wrapped in a silver blanket, her violet eyes glowing softly in the dim light. She looked calm, but fear hid behind her steady gaze. "How long before your mother finds us?" Ryan asked quietly. Lyra's voice was small. "She doesn't find people, she hunts them. If her fleet wants you, they will come." Ryan gave a dry laugh. "Great. Guess I've made a new fan club." But deep down he wasn't laughing. He knew what the Queen's hologram meant. No one refuses the Galactic Queen. Suddenly, the radar flashed red. A single blip appeared. Moving fast, Ryan's hands flew over the controls. No, not again. Before he could react, a golden beam cut through the dark, blinding bright, and the ship froze in mid-space. The engines powered down by themselves. Lyra gasped. "She found us." The computer spoke in a monotone voice. "External force detected. Tractor beam engaged." Ryan looked out the window. A shadow covered the stars. A massive alien warship, black and gold, shaped like a crescent moon. It was silent, graceful, and terrifying. The Horizon 9 was being pulled toward it like an insect caught in a web. Lyra clutched his arm. "We can't fight her, Ryan. If she takes us, she will—" "Don't worry," he interrupted, forcing a smile. "I've dealt with worse women," but his voice shook. Moments later, the ship was swallowed by the Queen's warship hangar, a glowing cathedral of alien steel. Dozens of armored guards surrounded them, weapons drawn. Ryan raised his hand slowly. "Okay. Friendly welcome." The guards didn't speak. They motioned for him and Lyra to step out. As they walked through the golden corridors, Ryan noticed how the air shimmered faintly, filled with strange energy. Every surface pulsed like a living thing. They entered a vast throne chamber. At the center stood Queen Seraphis, tall, graceful, and almost otherworldly. Her long silver robes floated like mist, and her golden crown shone brighter than the stars. Ryan's first thought wasn't fear. It was awe. Her eyes, the same violet as Lyra's, glowed with both beauty and danger. "Welcome, human," she said softly. Her voice echoed like music through the hall. "You saved my daughter. That is admirable." Ryan bowed slightly, though his tone stayed firm. "Didn't do it for medals, she needed help." The Queen smiled. "Bravery without reason. How rare among your kind." She stepped closer, her gaze never leaving his face. "Tell me, Commander, do you understand what you've done?" Ryan shrugged. "Yeah, I saved a life." Her smile faded. "You interfered with the Empire's destiny." Lyra stepped forward. "Mother, please." "Silence!" the Queen snapped. Her voice turned cold, and the air around them rippled with invisible power. Lyra froze in place, unable to move. Ryan's eyes widened. "Hey, let her go!" The Queen turned to him slowly. "You care for her?" He hesitated. "She's my friend." Her gaze softened again, but it didn't reach her eyes. "A friend. Interesting. You risked your life for a traitor. Perhaps you are more valuable than I thought." Ryan frowned. "What do you want from me?" She circled him slowly, studying him like a scientist examining a new species. "Humans are weak, yet you survived my storms, destroyed my drones, and escaped my fleet. You are special. Ryan forced a smirk. I get that a lot. Her lips curved faintly. You will serve me. He blinked. Excuse me? You will join my royal guard. You will protect me, as you protected her. Refuse, and both of you will die. Ryan stared at her, heart pounding. So this is your way of saying thank you? The Queen leaned close, her voice a whisper against his ear. You misunderstand, Commander. This is mercy. Lyra struggled to move, but couldn't. Ryan, don't listen. She's lying. The Queen straightened, her golden eyes sharp. Take them to the royal chambers. The human will decide his loyalty before the next sunrise. Guards surrounded them again. Ryan tried to fight, but one touch from their spears sent shocks through his body. As he fell to his knees, his vision dimming, he saw the Queen's faint smile, calm, cruel, and beautiful. Sleep well, my brave human, she said softly. Tomorrow, you belong to me. When Ryan Cole opened his eyes, he wasn't in a cell. He was in paradise, or at least something that looked like it. The room around him shimmered with gold and glass. Curtains made of light floated gently in the air. The air smelled like flowers, but there were no plants. Everything felt perfect. Too perfect. Ryan sat up slowly. He was lying on a bed that seemed to breathe, adjusting its shape to his movement. His jacket and weapons were gone. A strange silver band glowed faintly around his wrist. Security device detected. The ship's AI whispered from a hidden speaker. Any escape attempt will result in neural shutdown. Ryan sighed. Figures. Luxury prison. He looked toward the giant window. Outside, endless stars drifted past. The Queen's warship moved silently through hyperspace, a golden shadow gliding across the galaxy. He remembered the last thing he heard. The Queen's voice saying, "Tomorrow, you belong to me." He muttered, "Over my dead body." A door slid open with a hiss. 2 alien guards entered, tall and silent, wearing armor that shimmered like liquid gold. Between them walked Queen Seraphis, her presence filling the room like gravity itself. Ryan stood, his expression guarded. The Queen smiled faintly. "Good, you're awake." Ryan crossed his arms. "You always greet your prisoners this nicely?" Her eyes glimmered. "You are not a prisoner, Commander. You are a guest." "Right," Ryan said dryly. With a shock collar and no weapons. The Queen stepped closer, her gown flowing like mist. "I could have killed you, human. Instead, I offer comfort and a chance to live." Ryan's jaw tightened. "What do you want from me?" She studied him quietly. "You have courage, strength, and something my soldiers lack. Heart. I want that." Ryan frowned. "You want my heart?" She smiled, amused. "Not in the way you think." She turned away, looking out at the stars. "My empire is vast. My enemies grow every day, but my people are cold. Machines of war, bound by fear. You, however." She looked back at him, eyes glowing softly. "You fight because you care. That kind of power cannot be created. It must be possessed." Ryan met her gaze. "I'm not your toy." Her expression darkened. "Careful, Commander. Many would beg to stand where you are." He didn't flinch. "Then they can have my place." The Queen stepped closer again. Too close. Her voice softened to a whisper. "You saved my daughter. You could have let her die. That means you understand something most don't. Loyalty born from choice, not command. I could use that beside me." Ryan shook his head. "I don't serve tyrants." Her smile faded. For a heartbeat, silence filled the golden room. Then she raised her hand slightly, and pain shot through Ryan's wrist. The silver band glowed bright blue, sending shocks through his nerves. He gritted his teeth, refusing to scream. "Enough!" Lyra's voice echoed from the door. Ryan turned. The princess stood there, flanked by guards, her face pale but her eyes burning with anger. Mother, stop this. You're torturing the man who saved me. The Queen's expression softened again, almost sadly. You always mistake discipline for cruelty, my child. Lyra moved forward. You don't need to control him. Let him go. Seraphis turned slowly toward her daughter. You speak as if you have a choice in my empire. Lyra's hands trembled. Maybe I don't. But he does. The Queen tilted her head. Does he? Tell me, human oi, will you risk your life for her again? Ryan looked between them, the powerful Queen and the frightened daughter. He clenched his fists. Every time. For the first time, the Queen looked truly surprised. Then, she laughed. Soft, musical, dangerous. So bold. So human. She waved her hand, and the pain in his wrist stopped instantly. Very well. I will grant you freedom within my ship. Walk where you wish, talk to whom you wish. But remember, her eyes glowed like molten gold. You will never leave. She turned, her gown flowing like starlight, and walked out with her guards. Lyra ran to Ryan's side, helping him stand. Are you all right? He nodded slowly. Yeah, she hits hard, but I've had worse. Lyra frowned. You don't understand, she's testing you. She wants to see if she can break you. Ryan smiled faintly. Then she'll have to try harder. He looked out the window again at the endless ocean of stars. Somewhere in that vast darkness, freedom was waiting. He just had to find it, before the Queen's kindness turned into something far more dangerous. The corridors of the Queen's flagship shimmered like rivers of gold. Every wall pulsed faintly, as if the ship itself was alive, breathing, watching, listening. Commander Ryan Cole walked carefully through the empty hall, pretending calm, though his heart beat like thunder. It had been 3 days since the Queen had given him freedom, a word that felt more like a leash. Guards followed him everywhere, silent and cold. Cameras glowed in every corner. Even the walls whispered his name sometimes, carried by the ship's humming energy. And yet every night, when the lights dimmed and the guards rotated shifts, she came. Princess Lyra would appear at his door, her silver cloak flowing behind her like moonlight, her voice soft, urgent, trembling with risk. Ryan, are you awake? He always was. That night was no different. When she entered, the room lights lowered by themselves, sensing secrecy. Ryan turned from the window, his face half lit by starlight. You shouldn't be here, he said quietly. Lyra smiled sadly. And yet, here I am. She moved closer, her eyes shining like twin galaxies. My mother thinks she's winning. She believes she's breaking you, but I know you're still fighting. Ryan smirked softly. You've been watching me? Always, she said without hesitation. You're the only one who isn't afraid to speak the truth. He looked at her for a long moment, unsure whether to be flattered or afraid. Your mother could have me executed just for standing this close to you. Lyra's expression darkened. She would. If she knew. Ryan stepped back slightly. Then why risk it? Because I have no one else left, she whispered. My people see me as a traitor. My mother sees me as a threat. But you saved me. You didn't ask for power or reward. You just did it. Her voice broke, soft and trembling. No one in this galaxy does anything without reason anymore. Ryan exhaled slowly. Maybe I just made a stupid choice, she shook her head. No, you made a human choice. For a moment, silence filled the room, heavy, magnetic, fragile. Then Lyra looked down and reached into her cloak. She pulled out a small silver cube glowing faintly blue. What's that? Ryan asked. It's a memory core, she said. My mother's secret weapon is stored inside the palace AI. This holds the encryption key to destroy it. Ryan's eyes widened. You mean the mind control system you told me about? Lyra nodded. Yes, she calls it the Halo engine. It can bend entire planets to her will. She plans to use it soon. And your DNA is the final piece she needs to activate it. Ryan blinked. My DNA? Yes. Your ship's rescue signal carried human biocode into her system. She realized your species can power the Halo's organic interface. Ryan stared at her in disbelief. So that's why she's keeping me alive. Lyra nodded slowly. She doesn't want you dead. She wants to use you. The truth hit him like a storm. The Queen's interest, her strange kindness, and it all made sense now. Ryan clenched his fists. Then we end it. We destroy that engine. Lyra smiled faintly, but her eyes were full of sadness. It won't be easy. We'll need to cross the entire ship, to the core chamber. If we're caught, she'll kill us both. Ryan met her gaze. Then we don't get caught. Her eyes softened. You really believe we can do it? He grinned slightly. I've crashed through worse odds. Lyra laughed quietly, the sound soft and rare. You humans. You find light even in darkness. For a moment they just stood there. Two fugitives inside a golden prison, bound by danger and something deeper. Then the lights flickered. Ryan froze. What was that? The intercom crackled. The Queen's voice filled the room, smooth and calm, sir, but colder than ice. My dear Commander, she said, I told you I would be watching. Lyra's face drained of color. She knows. The walls glowed red. Guards' footsteps echoed down the hall. The door sealed itself shut. Ryan grabbed Lyra's hand. We have to move now. She nodded, clutching the memory core tightly. The Queen's voice grew louder, echoing from every direction. You disappoint me, Ryan. I offered you power. I offered you the stars. And you choose betrayal? Ryan shouted back. Freedom isn't betrayal. The ship trembled as alarms blared. Lights flashed red and white. The entire flagship came alive like a beast awakened. Lyra's grip tightened. She'll never stop. Ryan looked at her, determination burning in his eyes. Then neither will we. They ran into the shadows of the corridor, two sparks of rebellion against the might of an empire. Behind them, the Queen's calm voice whispered one last time, full of venom and jealousy. If I cannot have you, Commander, no one will. The alarms of the Galactic Queen's flagship screamed through the halls like angry ghosts. Red lights flashed across golden walls. Guards shouted commands in an alien language. The entire ship, once silent and elegant, now shook with chaos. Commander Ryan Cole and Princess Lyra sprinted through the corridor, their boots echoing on the metal floor. Lyra clutched the silver memory core to her chest, its faint blue light guiding their way. She's locked down every exit. Lyra gasped. There's only one route left in the Wormgate chamber. Ryan didn't slow. Then that's where we're going. Behind them, the ship's intercom hissed with the cold, steady voice of Queen Seraphis. Run as far as you want, Commander. Every path in my empire ends with me. Ryan growled under his breath. We'll see about that. They reached a massive elevator. Ryan slammed the control pad and the doors slid open. Inside, alien symbols glowed along the walls like veins of light. The elevator dropped fast, deeper and deeper into the ship's core. Lyra leaned against the wall, breathing hard. You don't understand what she'll do if she catches you. Ryan looked at her. I think I do. She wants my DNA to power that mind control weapon. Lyra nodded weakly. She doesn't just want control, Ryan. She wants you. You've become her obsession. He clenched his jaw. Then I'll make sure she never gets either. The elevator stopped with a sudden jolt. The doors opened to reveal a massive chamber glowing with energy, the Wormgate core. Ryan stepped forward in awe. It was like standing inside a storm of stars. Rings of light spun in the air, forming a portal that twisted and shimmered, a door through space itself. This is it, Lyra said. The Wormgate connects to hundreds of systems. If we can activate it manually, we can jump anywhere, maybe even near Earth. Ryan smiled faintly. Perfect. Let's go home. They ran to the control console, fingers moving fast across glowing runes. But before the system could initialize, the chamber lights darkened. The Queen appeared, her hologram filling the air, larger than life. Her face calm, eyes glowing gold, voice dripping with fury. You disappoint me, Ryan, she said softly. I gave you comfort, honor, even my attention. And this is how you repay me? Ryan stood tall. You don't give, you take. And I'm done being your toy. The Queen's gaze turned cold. Then die with her. The ground shook as doors burst open. Dozens of royal guards stormed in, weapons glowing red. Get behind me, Ryan shouted. Blaster fire filled the air. Ryan ducked, rolled, and fired back with a stolen alien rifle. Bolts of plasma cut through smoke and sparks. Lyra hacked the gate console, her fingers flying across symbols. Almost there, she shouted. Ryan fired again, hitting a guard square in the chest. You said that 2 minutes ago. Lyra yelled back, It's alien tech, not a toaster! A plasma blast hit the wall beside her, throwing sparks across her face. She didn't stop. The portal flickered, blue light swirling faster, the Wormgate humming like thunder. The Queen's hologram appeared right beside Ryan, her eyes full of fire. "You can't win, Commander. You'll never escape me." Ryan aimed straight through her image. "Watch me." He grabbed Lyra's hand. "Is it ready?" She nodded. "It's unstable, but it'll work." They ran for the portal as the chamber exploded with fire and light. Guards screamed behind them. The Queen's voice echoed through the chaos, almost pleading now. "Ryan, don't you understand? You belong with me." He looked back once, eyes blazing. "I belong to no one." Then he and Lyra jumped. The worm gate swallowed them whole, a blinding storm of color and sound. Time stretched and shattered. For a moment, Ryan felt like he was everywhere at once, floating between galaxies, seeing stars being born and dying in a single heartbeat. Then, silence. When Ryan opened his eyes, the cockpit lights flickered. He was back inside the Horizon 9, drifting through calm, empty space. Lyra sat beside him, trembling but alive. "Did we make it?" she whispered. Ryan checked the radar. "Yeah, we're out. The Queen's ship isn't on the scanners." Lyra smiled faintly. "Then we're free." But Ryan didn't smile back. His gaze was fixed on the portal behind them, still open, still glowing faintly. "She's not done," he said quietly. "That woman doesn't stop until she gets what she wants." Lyra looked at him, fear returning to her eyes. "Then what do we do now?" Ryan's hand tightened on the controls. "We run and we fight, until she learns that humanity can't be owned." The stars stretched before them like endless roads. The Horizon 9 accelerated into the dark, engines roaring, two fugitives racing through the universe carrying hope, danger, and a secret powerful enough to change the galaxy forever. Far behind them, deep in the collapsing worm gate, a faint golden light flickered. The Queen was not finished. The stars looked peaceful again, quiet, calm, endless. But Commander Ryan Cole knew that peace was a lie. The Horizon 9 drifted through the shadow of Earth's moon, its hull scorched from battle, its engines humming weakly. Ryan sat in the pilot's seat, staring at the blue planet below. He had finally brought Princess Lyra home, not to her empire, but to the one world still untouched by the Queen's reach. For a moment, he allowed himself to breathe. Lyra stood beside him, her silver hair glowing softly in the cabin light. "It's beautiful," she whispered. "Your world. It's alive." Ryan smiled faintly. "It's home. Imperfect, but ours." Her eyes softened. "You risked everything to bring me here. I don't know how to thank you." "You can start by helping me keep it safe," he said. Before she could answer, the ship's radar blared. A giant shape emerged from the darkness. Sleek, golden, monstrous. Ryan's heart sank. "No, she found us." The Galactic Queen's flagship appeared from the worm gate, surrounded by her armada. Its shadow swallowed the stars. Lyra's voice trembled. She crossed the worm gate herself. "For you." The comm screen flickered. The Queen's face appeared, calm, radiant, terrifying. "Commander," she said softly, "you cannot run from destiny." Ryan glared at the screen. "You call this destiny? You've destroyed planets just to feel powerful." She smiled faintly. "Power is survival. And you, of all creatures, have shown me what true power feels like. You've infected me with your human weakness." Lyra stepped forward. "Mother, please end this." "Let him go." The Queen's expression changed, and a flicker of emotion, almost pain. "You still don't understand, my child. I don't want to destroy him." She looked directly at Ryan. "I want him beside me." Ryan shook his head. "You don't love me, Queen. You just want control." Her golden eyes glowed. "Love is control." The fleet's weapons began to charge. Earth's defense satellites came online, pointing upward like spears of light. Ryan could feel the tension in the air, the weight of two worlds on the edge of war. He turned to Lyra. "If she fires, billions die." Lyra looked down at the silver memory core still clutched in her hands, the key to the Queen's weapon. "There's only one way to stop her." Ryan understood instantly. "You want to use the core?" Lyra nodded. "If I connect it to her fleet signal, I can overload the Halo engine and destroy her control systems, but..." She hesitated. "The blast will kill anyone linked to it, including her." "Including me?" Ryan froze. "No, there has to be another way." "There isn't," she whispered. "This is my choice." Before he could stop her, she moved to the console. The ship's AI beeped softly as she accessed the data link. Lyra, don't, Ryan said, stepping closer. You'll die. She looked at him, tears shining in her eyes. Maybe, but I'd rather die free than live under her shadow. The Queen's voice echoed again, sharper now. Surrender, human. Or I burn your world. Ryan's hand shook. You don't scare me. Her hologram smiled coldly. You should be scared of what you make me feel. Lyra pressed the final command. The core began to glow brighter, pulsing like a heart ready to explode. Ryan reached for her hand. Lyra, she smiled softly. Thank you for showing me what freedom feels like. A blinding light filled the cockpit. The Queen's voice rose in fury and disbelief. No! The explosion was silent, yet it tore across the sky like a star being born. The Halo engine shattered, sending a wave of blue energy through the fleet. One by one, the Queen's ships powered down, collapsing into darkness. In the flagship's throne chamber, Queen Seraphis stood alone as her empire burned. Her last whisper echoed into the void in a mix of rage and sorrow. Ryan. When Ryan opened his eyes again, he was floating in orbit, the Earth shining below. The Horizon 9 was cracked and burning, but alive. Lyra was gone. Only her silver pendant remained on the console, glowing faintly, the last trace of her light. Ryan held it tightly, his throat dry. You saved them all, he murmured. You saved me. The radio came alive with Earth Command voices shouting his name, asking for his coordinates. But Ryan didn't answer right away. He just stared at the stars, at the empty space where she had vanished, and for a moment, he thought he saw her. A faint shimmer in the distance. Smiling, watching, he smiled back. Goodbye. Princess. The Horizon 9 turned slowly toward Earth, its engines glowing faint blue. The galaxy was safe. The Queen was gone. But her voice, soft, haunting, eternal, seemed to whisper through the stars. This isn't the end, my brave human.